We may have broken the internet. I don't know.
Maybe you're connected to so many different places. Why don't you explain to anybody who's going to be watching this either live or later on when this recording goes throughout every channel of the internet, what we're doing here and why it's sort of informal.
Yeah, exactly. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Jeff Echols. My friend and cohort and co-conspirator here is Mark R. LePage. And we're doing a little bit of an experiment here today, going through, like Mark said, we're going through Facebook and Twitch and LinkedIn and YouTube and possibly even Instagram, although I suspect if we go through Instagram, I'll get a text from my daughter here in a minute. We're trying out the technology, looking towards the future of delivering content, of helping architects wherever they are, whichever channel is their favorite. It being Mark and I, there'll be a lot of content probably about branding for architects, but also helping architects build stronger businesses, build more profitable businesses, the business of architecture. So we wanted to jump on today and try this out. We're using some new to us tools, streaming through Restream, and
well, you locked up, Jeff. I don't know if the world can see me, but you're locked. But now you're coming back.
Okay.
Now you're back.
That may be my connection.
All right. Brian Penshow said that he's in LinkedIn. And awesome. And he got a notification that we were both live on his phone.
Very good. So is this like a phone call then?
So Brian, you got a message that separately that I was on live and Jeff was on live, or just Jeff, or it was just EntreArchitect?
That's a good question.
I think we may have lost him.
Yeah. So I guess what I could do is I could open up all of these. I got it. So I have a notification on my LinkedIn that I'm live. That's kind of funny.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah, just checking in. Make sure it says Jeff Echols and Mark R. LePage testing tech. Just one notification.
Just one notification. So that was probably your notification, Jeff, with my name in it.
Yeah.
That we were both live on his phone.
So I'm going to go into Facebook here now.
Yeah, we're just doing some tests because we have some plans. We have some ideas and some plans on some of the great things that are working now at EntreArchitect in the Facebook group and outside the Facebook group that are really working beautifully. And we want to sort of make it even better, provide additional opportunities for content and new ways of connecting with everybody out in the cybersphere. It'll be fun. In the cybersphere. So we're doing a tech test, a test check, a test. All right, Brian says it's checking pretty well in LinkedIn. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian.
So I pulled up. Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for telling us that we're both alive.
Ethan on LinkedIn asks if we're also on Twitch. We are on Twitch, but we're not on an EntreArchitect page yet, right?
Correct. So on Twitch, Jeff_Echols. Possibly on Instagram is Jeff_Echols, although I haven't seen anything pop up. I just verified we are live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube on the EntreArchitect channel. Instagram as Jeff Echols, and then Facebook in the EntreArchitect community Facebook group there. So,
which is a private group. So if you're an architect and you want to join the Facebook group, just go to EntreArchitect.com/group and it'll take you right there. You can request membership. And if you're an architect, you can join us.
Yep. That's a very vibrant community. If you're not familiar with the EntreArchitect community Facebook group, even if you hate Facebook,
Yeah.
and 100% transparency, that is the only thing that I do on Facebook. I'm there every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern to host Context and Clarity Live, which is like our daily mini mastermind group. But that is literally the only thing that I ever do on Facebook. So use that link that Mark just mentioned, and it takes you just into the group, and you don't have to deal with any of the rest of Facebook. But it's a great community for architects to support each other, to help each other, learn from each other. Our Context and Clarity Live session every weekday afternoon at 4 p.m. It really is like a mastermind group every single day. We pick one topic every day and go deep with it. And one of the reasons that we're testing the tech, did I say it right? Testing the tech today is that the next generation, Context and Clarity is not going away. It's expanding. We're probably first of the year going to launch a new weekly Context and Clarity live show, across all of these channels that we're on right now. That's one of the.
Don't tell anybody. That's a secret.
Yeah, that's the two people that are watching us. Deb says nothing on
We'll
Instagram.
hunt you down and kill you.
Yeah, we could tell you, but we'll have to kill you. Deb says nothing on Instagram, so that must be the alert.
Instagram was not playing well setting this all up. Instagram is never one that cooperates with automation or live streaming unless you're in the app itself. They force you to be in the app.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for checking that, Deb. Appreciate it. We'll have to dig into that deeper. Or I guess I could put my phone on a tripod right here and stream through Instagram. That might be interesting.
But I do see us on Twitch. I do see us on LinkedIn. I do see us on the Facebook group.
YouTube says we're good too.
And that's where I was headed next.
Yep. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Pretty consistent as well. The technology is,
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty.
Unmute when I turn these on.
Yeah, I found that. If you're wondering, if you're not part of the group on Facebook, the EntreArchitect community, and you're wondering, what are they talking about? Context and clarity and mastermind and different topics. I've got my little spreadsheet pulled up here. I'll just give you kind of a quick rundown of some of the topics that we've covered in the last week or two. One, and I usually start the conversation with a question. How do you get into new project types? So maybe you have specialized in a certain type of residential work and you want to expand out into a broader residential field, or even jump over into something completely non-residential. What are some of the outside of the box service models you can think of for developer clients? It was a couple of weeks ago. How do you get paid? How do you help clients understand the value of your proposal? We pick topics like this every day to dig into in Context and Clarity Live. So that's a little taste of what you're missing out, I guess, if you don't go there every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern, or watch the recorded version because it stays there inside the Facebook group.
Yeah, and you can continue to comment. So you can watch it in the recording and comment in time, and it'll actually post the comment in the same timeline as if you were live in Facebook.
Right.
And you get at least 30 people showing up to that every day. Every weekday, you're there. At least 30 people show up, have that conversation, and way over 100 comments throughout that 1 hour.
Oh yeah.
And then, many, many more comments after the live session. So every weekday at 4 p.m. At the Facebook group, EntreArchitect.com/group. We'll take you right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we had 180 some comments the other day on one of the topics, which means, what is that? Three comments per minute, I guess.
Yeah. Tough to keep up.
Yeah, it can get wild and woolly.
Yeah.
A lot of comments flying by, but
You're going to need a sidekick that help you manage the comments as it grows.
Yeah, we're going to have a production team. And I'm really hoping that when we get this dialed in, this format dialed in, where we stream across all of these networks at the same time, part of the beauty, like you said, of doing those types of events inside of the group, inside the Facebook group, they live there. The recorded version lives there as a resource. And you said it. I mean, you can comment on it. You can keep asking questions and answering questions and all those things. One of my hopes is that as we move to this format, or expand, I should say,
right. Make that clear, because the Context and Clarity crew will be upset if they think that's going away. It's not going away.
It's not going away. We're talking about adding a weekly across all these channels that will then live as a resource on LinkedIn, in Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, hopefully Instagram, if we can figure out how to get there, where you can continue to comment and you can invite your friends, your colleagues. I understand it's limited, 6,600 members in the Facebook group, but there are a lot of people that just don't like Facebook. There are a lot of people that aren't on Facebook. They love LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever. And so we're also trying to meet the community and the broader community where they are.
Yeah. Yeah. And also the Facebook group is private, and the conversations that are happening in that group are private. We don't share the comments outside of the Facebook group.
Right.
What happens in the Facebook group stays in the Facebook group, which is one of the reasons why it is so vibrant, why it is such a special place, because it is a private place for architects to share with one another. What this weekly show will allow you to do, Jeff, is go deeper. Take one of those topics, invite an expert onto the show with you, like this format, where you and that expert have that deeper conversation about that topic. And because it's live, now you could have live chat with that expert while that's happening, while you're going deeper. Potentially, I'm not sure if we can do this too right away, but eventually you may even be able to do call-in and have live calls coming and air those calls live and answer those calls live, like a radio show. And so it'll sort of take this, what's so special about that Facebook group conversation, and take it to the next level. So keep that there. That's a really special thing that happens every day. But then once a week, go deeper, go wider, all at the same time with some experts that really have some additional knowledge to be able to take that conversation even further. It'll be really fun and special.
Yeah. And if if you're watching or listening in, and you haven't caught on to this yet, I mean, we're basically exploring, and we're not on the cutting edge here. There's plenty of people that have tried and are doing these things, but we're exploring, what is the future of connecting with a community across all of these channels, and building a community that supports each other and develop something like Mark and I, when we've talked about this, and I always want to preface this with, I have no desire or aspirations of being Howard Stern or like Howard Stern, but think of that kind of format. A PG rated version of it as well, but think about the depth of conversation that we can have. Think about the ability to And to me, one of the great things that's come out of 2020 is the willingness for people all around the world, and I do mean that very literally, all around the world, to connect on platforms like this and have conversations in real time, no matter who you are, no matter where you are. And so I'm hoping that we can bring a lot of depth to this format that all of you who have participated have been building in this community since April 6th of 2020.
Yeah, yeah, and that conversation started with the COVID crisis.
Yep.
That originally, that context and clarity was started by Jeff in order to give some consistency and some context and some clarity to what was happening at that moment. We were in crisis. We were in a global crisis. No one knew what was happening. Everyone was afraid. And what context and clarity did on a daily, which is why it's daily, on a daily basis, gave something to our community of small firm architects, something to rely on, something that they knew Jeff was going to be there and that they can talk about what they needed to talk about. And those early conversations were about what was happening and how we were handling it and how we were adjusting and modifying what we were doing in order to survive this, but also to look forward and how we were going to adjust. And it was such an important conversation that you just never stopped it.
Yeah. It's interesting what happens when you don't define the end game. And you let it keeps going and you let it evolve. And so we're talking about evolution today. And here we are. Ethan asked about the YouTube channel, and it's the EntreArchitect YouTube channel.
Yeah, you can search EntreArchitect and you'll find it.
Yeah, that's where we're live right now. And I just got a message from a friend on LinkedIn through LinkedIn, which is a good reminder that the primary audience for context and clarity, obviously the EntreArchitect community Facebook group. Obviously, we talk about architects a lot. We talk about the practice, the profession, the business of architecture a lot, but many of the things that we talk about are applicable across professional services. And so I have a lot of connections on LinkedIn that are not architects, attorneys, accountants, doctors, et cetera. This won't be lost on you if you decide to tune in. I'm going to say architect all the time. Mark's brand that he's been building for years and years and years now is EntreArchitect. But if an attorney tunes into an attorney participates here, I think they can find a lot of value in these conversations as well. So, yes, we're going to focus on architects because that's the community that we've been building here. Like I said, Mark's been at this for 10 years now, building EntreArchitect as a brand. But there's opportunities outside of architecture as well.
Yeah, I get that. I get that response all the time. We have a lot of non-architect listeners to the EntreArchitect podcast because I'm just talking about business. I'm talking about how to succeed in business as a service provider, right? Architects are service providers. And so I do, like Jeff said, talk about architects and how architects can succeed, and specifically small firm architects. That's our community. But I have attorneys and doctors come to me all the time who say, I'm a listener and I hear what you're saying. And I have those same issues and those same problems. And thank you for bringing those experts on and talking, because I'm learning a lot too. And so I even get my mom and dad who listen all the time, who own their own small business. They have a couple of houses that they rent out, and they too have said, when you talk about the things you talk about on the podcast, we learn a lot for our business. And so even, small businesses that are not, service providers, but, rental homes and that kind of thing. Business is business. It doesn't matter what you're doing. The fundamentals of business are the same. And my message from the very beginning at EntreArchitect is that architecture is a business, that small firm architects are entrepreneur architects, that you've decided to start a business and you are an entrepreneur and you need to figure out how to be a successful entrepreneur in order to do the architecture that you started the firm for. And so that's the root of EntreArchitect. In order to be better architects, we need to build better businesses.
Yeah. Those are all really great points. And I guess to expand that a little bit more as well, Mark mentioned or really kind of went through the origin story a little bit there of EntreArchitect and the focus on small firm architects.
Yeah.
And that's really the bulk of this community, certainly. Does that mean that it's not for larger firm architects? Absolutely not.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah. On my consulting side, my Echo engagement consulting side, when I work with architecture firms or attorneys or other professional services firms, many of those firms are larger than small firms. What, Mark, what's the average size of a firm EntreArchitect member? 5?
5 or less is most of our members. There's plenty that are 10 to 20, but mostly under 5, and many sole practitioners, because sole practitioners, because they work alone, have looked for this community, and this community has become their community. It's become their place to come and talk to other architects, where when you have a few people in your office, you can talk to the person sitting next to you or the person on Zoom with you. Right. But when you're a sole practitioner, you don't have that. And so a community like the Facebook group or the membership at EntreArchitect is a great place for sole practitioners to sort of get that camaraderie and that advisement from fellow architects.
Right. Yeah, that's an excellent point. And so you could be a sole practitioner, you could be a 5-person firm, or you could be a 15, 30, 100-person firm. Some of my I've done some work for the largest AE firm in the world. You can Google that. But and I also teach a pro practice class, and for architecture students, obviously. And so all of these lessons that come up, all of these things that we discuss, all of these topics, I listed off of a couple of minutes ago, I don't know, maybe 5 of the topics that we've covered recently in Context and Clarity. If you're an architect and you work in a 30-person firm, I'm pretty sure, let me just go back to my spreadsheet. I'm pretty sure a topic like how do you get into new project types is pretty applicable to a 30-person firm, especially if you focused heavily on hospitality, right? You're probably looking to get into new project types in 2020. Yeah. That's the year that we're in, right? So that's what really excites me as well about spreading out across all of these different platforms is that, if you haven't been able to tell yet, if you don't know Mark, if you don't know me, Mark is driven by a passion to help architects build a better business, build better architecture businesses. That the ability to get out across all of these platforms just ignites that passion in both of us and takes it further, because now we know that we can continue to help those small firm architects, and we can help medium-sized firms, and we can help someone that works for a large firm but wants to start their own firm.
Yeah.
We can help attorneys. We can help anybody that wants to tune in to these, I don't know what we call this, broadcast. Simulcast. Anybody that wants to tune in can now, be part of a community that's here. And I really feel like it's important. Yes, I host Context and Clarity every weekday at 4 p.m., but I'm just the guy. I'm the guy that's facilitating the conversation, supporting the community that all the people that engage in that platform are building. And that's one of the things that's exciting to me, is that we can build that community even larger, by connecting to all of you, wherever you are. I see a ton. I mean, actually, every single comment here, which makes me wonder: are the comments working from many of the other
Everything's coming
platforms?
in from LinkedIn.
Yeah, all of them are from LinkedIn. So we may have there's probably a box we didn't click or something, or maybe we're not getting it.
If you were in Facebook or Twitch, post a comment just to see if we can see it on our end. The other thing I also wanted to mention, Jeff, is that not only are we diverse in size of firm, but our community is global.
Yeah.
That there are architects from all over the world that are part of our EntreArchitect community, both in the EntreArchitect membership as well as the EntreArchitect Facebook group. And every day, people from around the world are part of the Context and Clarity conversation. And what fascinates me, something that I didn't expect when I first started this, is that not only are architects around the world part of our community, but they struggle with the same problem, exactly the same problems, right? Somebody from Nigeria is struggling with the same problem as they are in Staten Island, New York. They're having the same problems as architects. They're struggling with the same issues with the value of architecture and the brand of architecture, and their clients not knowing what they do and why it's so important to work with an architect. All of those issues that we all struggle with are universal global issues that architects are struggling with. And so those are things that were really interesting to me. And one of the other things that really excite me about EntreArchitect and what fuels me to keep going is when people respond to me and tell me that because I've shared what I know, that they've succeeded, right? They've grown, they've become better businesses, and they have also done that. They've become more open and transparent with other architects, right? Sharing the knowledge that they have with other architects. And I think that is the thing, that momentum that our community has. You can see it in the Facebook group every day. 100% transparent, right? If somebody asks a question, the community comes to that conversation and gives them everything they have, right? They don't hold back any of it. There's very little hoarding of information in our community, which is very different from the rest of the profession, although that's shifting because I think we are making a difference. But that momentum, I think, is really special and exciting to watch.
Yeah, that's one reason that I'm really adamant about saying I'm just the facilitator. When I host these shows. Yeah, I mean, it is always amazing to me the amount of information that people are willing to share, and we understand that Context and Clarity, like Mark said earlier, is inside of a private Facebook group, so it's a very safe place to share. What we're doing here with the streaming will be different. It'll still be a safe place, but it will be across platforms and people can see comments, etc. But to the point of the international community, and so I see John Kenny has said hi. He's on Facebook. Thanks, John. And Karen Loftus, Indianapolis friend and consulting engineer. Welcome, Karen. Glad you're with us.
And Deb said that YouTube is working.
Excellent. Good. Thanks, Deb. I don't think there has ever been a time when we've broadcast Context and Clarity live where it has only been participants from the United States.
Yeah, right from day one.
Right from day one. And so when I say, and when Mark says international, on a typical day on Context and Clarity, we will of course have participants from the East Coast to the West Coast of the United States. We'll have probably at least one person from the UK. We'll have quite often someone from Italy. I'm just kind of going down the list here. Ghana, Nigeria, Colombia, Philippines. These are the ones that really. And
they're regulars. They show up all the time.
They're regulars. And think about what time it is. 4 p.m. Eastern is, tomorrow morning. In the Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. So really, really, literally and honestly, all over all over the globe. And I really value that because,
Yeah.
like Mark said, the perspective that you get, we're all of us live in our own bubble in some way and work in our own bubble in some way. And to get Bright, who's down in Ghana, sharing a perspective from Ghana. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday, he was talking about, we were talking about making deeper connections yesterday. He was talking about when COVID hit in his country, he went from the city where he lives back to his hometown, which is a village in Ghana. But he was talking about the opportunity to engage with people on a level that he doesn't in talking about design and providing services on a level that he didn't normally get to engage in. That was fascinating. And I really value those types of perspectives from across the globe. And I'm hoping that we can expand on that even more here across all these channels. So one thing that's happening on when someone comments on Facebook, they only show up
I see that
on Restream as a Facebook user.
Yeah, we don't know who they are.
Yeah, the
others are showing their name.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
If that's a setting that you have to set, or is that a restriction with Facebook through our technology
group? It may be. We'll have to look into that. But we've got John Kinney and Maria, so I can look at the other screen and see it on Facebook. But Maria and John Kinney both. Thanks guys for chiming in there. Great to have you here. And there you go. And like I said, Karen has she's an engineer, Loftus Engineering in Indianapolis. Very good. She's on LinkedIn.
So what's your topic for today at the conversation?
So the topic of today, and so for those of you that don't know, the way that I find topics for context and clarity, because it's 5 days a week, you got to come up with a lot of topics. So one of the ways that I find topics is I scroll through the conversations in the EntreArchitect community Facebook group and just see what people are talking about, what the most popular, the most engaged topics are, as long as they fall under the umbrella of the business.
There's probably 10 to 14 posts every day in that Facebook group.
Yeah.
New posts they're all engaged. They get 30 to 50 comments per day per post. So it's a very engaged community.
Right. Yeah. So I'm looking for topics that fall under the umbrella of the business of architecture, that people are really engaging on those topics. And I also get messages, right? If you're on LinkedIn or if you're on Facebook, send me a message. Send me a connection request or friend request. If we're not connected, I'm happy to accept those. And send me a message. Hey, I'm struggling with this, or I have this question, or I just learned this. All of those are great topic ideas, because if you're struggling with something, there's someone else that's struggling with the same thing. If you have a question about something, there's someone else that has the same question. If you just learn something, there's someone else that needs to learn that as well. So those are all great topic ideas. And oftentimes I'll have somebody send a topic idea that says, hey, I'd like to remain anonymous. That is no problem at all. I'm happy to honor that. Even the usual suspects, the regulars on Context and Clarity, they don't know when a topic has come from an anonymous, someone that wants to remain anonymous. I'm happy to honor that, and it just pops up as a new topic. Today's topic, it was actually, I got to scroll on my spreadsheet here. Where is it? There you go. So today's topic was actually inspired by a question by Jacob Flitten. I hope I pronounced his last name right. And it's so the question I'm starting with is: do you give your clients gifts at the end of the project or at the end of the year? And if so, what? And so What I want to do today with that topic is, because that's a topic that gets asked every year. What do you do at the end of the year? What do you do at the end of a project? But I also want to dig into how are you thinking about that differently this year? It's a different year, right? December 4th, 2020 is very different than December 4th, 2019. So we'll wrap that that part of the or that part of the context into the conversation today. And it's a timely topic. It's one that, remember off the top of my head, it's probably got 45 or 50 comments in the Facebook group. So we'll see where that conversation goes today.
Also, I just want to throw this out there that we're having a holiday party. The EntreArchitect holiday party. Everybody's invited, but you have to have a free ticket. So we make sure that we know who's showing up. It's going to be on Zoom. It's going to be on Friday, December 18th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. or longer if we feel like hanging out longer than that. But it starts at 3. And it's just going to be a casual opportunity on Zoom, like a Zoom meeting where we just have everybody show up. Maybe we'll, have some planned activities, but it's really just an opportunity to meet up with your friends, give you an opportunity to get on Zoom so you can see the faces of the people that you communicate with on Facebook on a regular basis. But it's not only for Facebook, it's for anybody who's within the EntreArchitect community, inside and outside of the membership, inside and outside of the Facebook group. You are welcome to join us. There's a link to get the free ticket on every channel. So just look on the channel. I didn't do a short link yet, but I will create a short link. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll share a short link. But just go grab the reason we're doing the tickets is because it gives you an automatic reminder. It lets us know who's interested, who's coming, and that kind of thing. And so just search the holiday party EntreArchitect, and you can grab a ticket on Eventbrite and join us there. And Jeff and I will be there, and a bunch of our friends will be there. A bunch of Gable Media, personalities, podcast hosts. Hopefully they'll show up. We invited CVG and their team and their partner. So hopefully it'll be a big small firm celebration of small firms. So looking forward to it.
Yep. That was actually a topic a couple of days ago about throwing. I've got to read it. It was how do you throw a remote holiday party that doesn't suck?
Yeah, well, we're gonna try.
Well, that conversation and context and clarity was fascinating. The ideas, I mean, they just flowed. That we might have had 180 comments that day.
That's where the inspiration for this party came from. They said we should do it, and so we linked it up and said, okay, let's do it.
Yeah. And so Mark and I and others will talk about, how many, if any of these things can we incorporate into the EntreArchitect holiday party. I love the idea of different themed breakout rooms, different types of entertainment and different breakout rooms, 5-minute sketching exercises where you sketch each other, which that could get dangerous.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of great conversations. I think that's Demetrius probably that says he's not sure if it's just his screen, but he says YouTube resolution is pretty pixelated.
Yeah, I noticed that too when I went to, that is Demetrius. I noticed that too. The resolution is very low on YouTube.
Yeah. So I think our max resolution on this, we can't do 1080, I don't think.
I wonder if that's a live stream thing and maybe it'll get better once it's a recording. Maybe it's a way for them to, keep the live stream more consistent. I don't know. Just guessing.
I have it. I have it up on my screen right now, but it's paused. I paused it on my screen, and the resolution on that looks okay. I mean, it's not
on YouTube.
Yeah,
so it might be just the live stream thing to keep it working.
It's definitely not even pause. It's definitely not 1080, but
but
it's not terrible.
So add that to your list of things to check. Because maybe there's a setting on, to go a higher resolution.
Yep. Yeah. And if you're just joining us, that's part of what we're doing here. Mark and I wanted to jump on here and experiment. And like we said earlier, Context and Clarity Live is something we've been doing inside the EntreArchitect community since April 6th. And beginning in the new year, we're rolling out a new additional effort. And so we're streaming across, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch. And I don't think we were successful getting Instagram to work, although we attempted it. So we're going to try to wrap Instagram into it as well. But building a community across a wider base. And so today is kind of a tech check.
Yeah. If you are following us right now, if you're watching on Twitch, it looks like there's 2 people watching on Twitch. If you're watching us on Twitch, post a chat there too, because that's the only thing that we haven't tested yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen that.
I see that we're there, but I don't see any messages, and I don't know if they'll come through our tech, because what we're hoping to do is also be able, in those live weekly calls, to be able to take questions, and you'll be able to post questions and anywhere you're watching it. And we want to make sure that it works. So that's what we're testing here.
Yeah, the resolution on Twitch actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, much better than YouTube.
Yeah.
That's what it's built for, though. It's built for streaming.
Right. All right, YouTube, you got to catch up. And talking about the question and answer through the comments from all the different platforms. If you've never joined one of the Context and Clarity Live sessions before, that's basically how it works. It's in the Facebook group, the EntreArchitect community Facebook group, and I host it every day with a topic and question prompts and things like that. And the community just responds, and they ask questions, and they comment, and they answer questions, and I read those things in real time as we go. And the format that Mark was talking about earlier, that we're experimenting right now, opens up the possibility for me to have a guest to interview. It opens up the possibility for people to make comments and ask questions, and for myself and the guest to respond to those things live in real time. And so I think right now we're pretty much proving that we can pull this off without much trouble. Got a few things to figure out here, but testing tech, I think, was a good title.
Yeah. I tried to post a comment in Twitch myself and realized I don't have a Twitch account.
So what happens?
So I'm going to fix that. As soon as I try to post I can see it, but as soon as I try to post a comment, it says, "Hey, you're not a member."
Let's see what happens here. So I tried to post one, and it wants me to log back in as myself.
Let me jump on here, because I just signed up.
That's odd.
Now it's asking me for a code. Okay. All right, stand by.
Yeah, looks like
I'm doing security codes here.
Jean-Pierre says he sees us on Twitch, but he can't comment either because he's doesn't have an account. And when we decided to add Twitch, that might be a little bit of a stretch. Is there a okay? Yours came through.
Yep.
There you go. Is there an architecture community or professional services community on Twitch? I don't know.
We're going to find out, because we're going to stream to Twitch. So if you're a Twitch user, you could follow us on Twitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to be completely honest about it, I don't know much about Twitch. I know it's there. Is there a community? Don't know. Could there be? Sure. Can we
If
build a
you're
community there?
watching us somewhere other than Twitch and you are a Twitch user, let us know. You know, post it in wherever you are right now. Just post that you are a Twitch user. Twitch is mostly streaming, you know, watching people play video games and that kind of thing. That's where it started.
Yeah.
It actually started completely different than that, and it turned into that. Twitch has a really interesting origin story. If anybody's interesting, you should go find a podcast about how Twitch started. It wasn't what it is today, like many tech companies.
Yeah. So Jean-Pierre says Twitch is streaming about 10 seconds ahead of Facebook. That it would be interesting to compare all of those. I know YouTube seemed to be lagging behind a little bit as well. And
Andrew said that that YouTube looks okay, coming in at 720 for him.
okay.
So it's not pixelated for you, Andrew?
And, you know, Mark asked the question a minute ago, if you're a Twitch user or if you're watching somewhere else, and if you're a Twitch user, you let us know that you are a Twitch user. Another question might be, what other streaming platforms are you on? Are you interested in?
Yeah.
That were, you know, something besides Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, or Instagram. You know, what else is out there?
I see what's happening with YouTube. YouTube by default, the video quality is set to auto, and so it adjusts it based on your connection. So if you have a really weak connection, it'll drop the resolution down in order to be able to stream properly. If you have a really good connection, you can click on the little gear, the little settings in the bottom right corner of the player, and you can change the quality to a higher resolution quality.
Okay.
Right now, I have all these different streams coming in at the same time, so my set automatically is setting it to 360p, so super low resolution.
Yeah.
But I can manually set it, and when I do manually set it to a higher resolution, the resolution gets better, but it gets really choppy because I have 4 streaming. You know, I have all 4 streams coming through my computer right now.
Yeah, mine autoed to 480 right now.
Yeah, so that's the issue with YouTube. So if you're watching it strictly on YouTube and it's a low resolution and you have a good connection, check your settings and change the quality of your video to a higher resolution, and that should clean it up.
So then that would seem to, if logic prevails, that would seem to indicate that the recorded version is probably at 720. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That would be my guess.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing, because that is, you know, like we've talked about a little bit earlier, having the live interaction is really important. It's really great. I think that's super engaging and really helps build the community. But something that's also very important to us is that we're building these lasting resources. And so that recorded version being there and being there as a resource, you know, to infinity and beyond, is an important thing to us as well. So hopefully that will stay there at a high resolution. Ryan's checking his mic. Hi, Ryan. And on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Hi, Roxana. Roxana says she can see me, but Mark's a little less clear.
Is it because of my dark background, or is it because the camera is not clear? I have to work on my dark background because my floating head in my dark background is
you just have to wear white.
High quality production.
You have to wear white. And Roxana says she's on her phone, watching on her phone. We didn't get many responses about Twitch. We didn't get any responses about Twitch.
Yeah, that's okay. I think we should still stream there. See if we can find a community there.
Oh, absolutely. When I was setting this up last night, specifically for Twitch, trying to get all the settings and get everything connected, what popped up for me by default, and I've not watched more than about 36 seconds of Twitch ever. But so I don't know how their algorithm works or whatever, but what popped up for me by default was two young guys doing sportscasting.
Oh yeah,
Interesting. Yeah.
They're watching you.
You know exactly what was going through my mind.
Yeah.
They weren't calling a live game or anything, but they were talking about NFL. You know, going through the different teams and the upcoming games and things.
Yeah.
Let's see. Roxana says, camera not clear, but background also not great. John Kinney says, I'm clear, but you're pixelated.
All right, let me turn off all these feeds that I have coming through here, see if I can clean up my bandwidth a little bit.
And one of the things that's happening too is that Mark is joining Restream, which is the platform that we're using to broadcast this. Mark's joining Restream through a link that I sent him, and I'm going straight through my Restream account. So I'm sure that has an effect as well.
Yeah, I turned off all of my... Let me just do one other thing here.
Do you, in Restream, do you have... well, I'm sure you have the little settings gear.
Yeah.
There's a place to control your video resolution there.
Yes, I'm on high definition,
Okay.
720. And my camera should be very good.
Something just changed.
Yeah, I just reset it to...
Okay.
Let's see here. Oh, those are audio settings. Better resolution now. All right, good. So you need to make sure your guests don't have anything streaming, because I had all four. I had 4 streams coming in through my pipes here, so my pipe going out was filled up with the stuff coming in.
Had a clog. Got to call a plumber. You got to call an internet plumber.
That's good to know.
Let's see. So we're getting comments now. So we need to look for a setting, if there is one, so we can actually get the names of the commenters from Facebook.
Right. That's really the only issue, right, at this point, other than nobody's watching on Twitch.
Yeah.
And Instagram was an issue.
Yeah, Instagram is a...
So when you're going to Instagram Live, you're going to Instagram TV? What part of Instagram are we trying to get to?
It should be going through Instagram TV, I believe. See, with Instagram not allowing live streaming, you have to go through something like, I'm trying to use Yellow Duck. So you're going through another intermediary to get there. And it appears that it should be streaming right now. In fact, when I was trying to set this up last night, the reason I said my daughter would text me, I was trying to set this up last night, and my daughter texted and said, hey, you started a live video. And so it looks to me like it's going there, but it obviously is not.
John says I look a little holy. I got a little halo going. That's my halo, John. Sometimes it shows. Sometimes I try to keep it hidden, usually.
Yeah.
But sometimes the halo pops out.
It pops out. That's what happens when
So
you.
you got a little glimpse of my halo.
Yeah. Roxana wants to know, what is Twitch? So Twitch is a streaming service that is used primarily by gamers streaming their gaming. So I've just revealed that I'm not a gamer, but there are other things on that platform as well. But it's a pure streaming platform.
Yeah,
And,
it's mostly gamers watching other gamers play games, which is more interesting than you think when you hear it, because it's actually interesting to watch. But it's a streaming service, so we can do a live show just on Twitch. Like, we can be doing this on Twitch. It's built for it, so it's very, very high quality video, very little lag because it's built for watching high speed gaming, and so it's built for watching video, live video, where you're sharing your screen with fast moving action. So its technology is built for that. So but it's used for lots of things,
Right. Yeah, and it's the only one that of the ones that we've been talking about, the ones we're trying to stream to right now, that's actually specifically built for streaming. Now, what surprised me when I was setting these things up is that, and again, I'm using Restream as a streaming platform. There are at least a dozen streaming platforms listed that I could choose from, and I've never heard of almost all of them. So there are others out there, which is why I asked the question a few minutes ago: is there a streaming platform that anybody uses that we haven't talked about yet? So right now we're attempting to stream to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, and Instagram. It looks like Instagram's a fail. I guess one of the settings was for Instagram to save it to my story. So I guess if we end and suddenly I have a hour and a half long story or something, we'll know that something was going on. But it looks like Instagram has not worked at all.
I'm gonna just double check Instagram, because I actually didn't check Instagram because you said it wasn't working. But let me see if I can find it. It's on your Jeff Echols account.
Yeah. I know Deb looked at it earlier and she didn't find anything. So
nothing on your feed.
Okay. Just popped in on YouTube, and Mark and you look the same.
TV, nothing on TV. No.
Okay.
I don't see your.
You're looking at Instagram right now?
Yeah.
Roxana says her son would watch on Twitch.
Well, that's exactly who we're looking for, right? Because if the younger architects, the students or the young architects who are in school or recently graduated, and they're not on Facebook and they're not on LinkedIn and they're not on the other channels that we're on, we want to be where they are because we want them to be part of our conversation. And so if they're on Twitch or other channels, TikTok, I'm not sure TikTok has streaming. I know TikTok has live. Oh, it does have live. Yeah, TikTok does have live.
It has live. We'd have to, I didn't see that as an option. And it's like LinkedIn. You have to get
more
approved,
permissions,
I guess.
Yeah.
And for those of you that wonder about LinkedIn, it took me about a year and a half of trying to get access to LinkedIn Live. I have no idea what their real process for approval is, but that was a little bit difficult. And talking about the younger people and the younger generation, when I know just inside the EntreArchitect community on Facebook, off the top of my head, I can think of, I think at least 4 or 5, if not more, people that teach in architecture schools around the world. pro practice, and other classes. And it always, every time we do one of the Context and Clarity live sessions, and I use it selfishly sometimes. Some of the topics have coordinated with the topic for my class, that evening. But when I think about some of those Context and Clarity live sessions, I think, my gosh, this would make a great textbook for architecture students. And so that's another reason for spreading this out. It's not likely that we're going to get a bunch of 20 something or whatever their age is, architecture students joining the Facebook group. That's not their face, they're not the Facebook demographic, if I can say it that way.
Yeah.
So one question is, how can we reach them? Where are they? Are they on Twitch? Are they somewhere else? Because again, the whole reason for doing this is to make the profession of architecture better, a better business, more profitable, all of those things. So how can we, Roxana said her son is 6. He is ahead of the game. How can we, and I said it this way earlier, how can we meet people where they are? If you're not on Facebook, fine. Where are you? If you prefer LinkedIn, great. We're going to be on LinkedIn. If there's something that we haven't figured out yet, beyond the 5 that I listed a minute ago, let's go there, and let's meet the community there, and build the community there, support the community there, and that's part of the reason for trying to break the internet here, trying to get.
We finally got a comment from Twitch. All right, excellent. Looks like we got spammed on Twitch here.
Yeah, awesome.
So that
I want to become famous. Yes, I do, but I don't want to buy it.
So do you want to keep it secret that you're doing all those TikTok dances in order to build this following on TikTok?
Well,
I know you have a separate, secret account over there.
There is no way in the world that I could figure out how to do those TikTok dances. I have a daughter that does all of those dances all the time. She's not doing them on TikTok, but it's part of her personality. It's part of what she does. She is a very kinetic, very, she's moving all the time, and I watch her, and sometimes I'm horrified, and sometimes I'm just amazed. Like, my body doesn't even move in those directions simultaneously. So, but at some point I may. I love.
Well, I lost you.
As we're having some streaming issues.
Is that me or you?
Yeah, just said we're having some. Looks like we may have dropped Twitch. So we'll see. We'll see if it comes back. I don't know. Is there a limit on Twitch? We've probably hit an hour at this point.
Well, maybe. Are you set up as an account? I guess you are. I guess you have to be, right? Yeah, we're over an hour.
Yeah. Well, it looks like I'm looking at Twitch right now. It looks like the counter is still going. The timer is still going, but it's dropped the video, so we may have lost Twitch. But I do. I love TikTok because I think it's such a low barrier of entry. Anybody can make a TikTok. Expectations in terms of quality, and I don't. That's to other people is so low, and just the variety of content that's on there is fascinating. I'll watch somebody showing how they barbecue something, And I love this guy that's down in New Orleans that translates Cajun for
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
teaches people how to speak Cajun, so to speak. I watch fighter pilots and scientists and just everything
Yeah.
across.
It's a fascinating app. It really is. I mean, there's a lot of garbage on it, but there's a lot of talent too, really, from music to dancing to all kinds of knowledge, sharing of knowledge in little 15-second clips. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And the algorithm of, once you sort of start looking for certain things, it starts showing you other things that are similar to it. And
Yeah.
it's really interesting.
Yeah. I think their algorithm is dialed in pretty well.
Yeah.
There are a lot of somewhat undiscovered singing talents, comedy talents on there.
Yeah.
I like them a lot.
And there are a lot of kids being discovered on that.
Yeah.
Where they're showing how talented they are, and they get signed like that week that they start showing their talent.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah. So let's see. Somebody said we froze on Facebook, but we're back now. That was John Kinney.
Yeah, I think we had a little technical issue there for a minute.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Twitch ever came back. I'll just refresh it here.
Twitch is on in mine.
Oh yeah. I hit refresh and it's back. Oh, that's interesting. It popped up. So it's streaming at 720 on Twitch. Good. Well, so our biggest problem right now is Instagram. And any other platform, like we said a couple of times, if there's another platform out there, let us know where else we need to be.
You want to wrap things up and remind people who are catching us at the end here why we did this? And
yeah, exactly. So if we've never met before, I'm Jeff Echols. You're, depending on where you are, you might be on one of my channels right now, and my cohort here is Mark R. LePage, founder and chief of EntreArchitect. And we jumped on here today as an experiment. I think the title that you probably see, depending on where you are, it says something like Tech Check. Every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern, I host a show inside the EntreArchitect community Facebook group, which is a private Facebook group, which if you're an architect, you can join it. I host a show inside that community every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Highly engaging, highly participatory, lots and lots of people on there asking questions, making comments every single day. It's become a great resource. It gets recorded. It stays there inside that group. And so as Mark and I have talked about the future of EntreArchitect, the future of context and clarity, we've decided that the goal is always to build a community, to support the community. And so we decided that there's this potential, untapped potential. There are other people doing this in other ways and for other reasons, but there's Facebook, there's YouTube, there's LinkedIn, there's Twitch, there's Instagram, there's other streaming platforms. Why not expand the community, grow the community beyond the walls of the EntreArchitect community Facebook group? And so that's what we're experimenting with today. It seems like it's worked pretty well.
Yeah, I think so. I think the amazing technology that we could do that we can have a conversation, you in Indiana, me in North Carolina, live, and spread it across the world on 4 channels for now.
Yep.
Amazing. It really is amazing.
Yeah.
I want to just remind people to catch Jeff for the Context and Clarity conversation, the Context and Clarity live inside the Facebook group today at 4 p.m. every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Jeff is in the Facebook group having the conversation with Context and Clarity. The link to join the group if you're not a member is EntreArchitect.com/group. If you are a member of that group, use that link. It'll take you right to that group, so you don't have to go through the rest of the mess of Facebook. EntreArchitect/group will take you right there. And join us for the holiday party, the EntreArchitect holiday party. It is profession-wide. Everybody is invited. You can, and I just set up a short link. If you go to EntreArchitect.com/holiday party, it'll take you right to the Eventbrite page to grab a ticket. It's a free ticket. We just want to make sure we know who's going to show up and how many people are going to show up. So it is on Friday, December 18th, starts at 3 p.m. Eastern time. 3 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, December 18th, the EntreArchitect holiday party meetup. So go check us out. Go register for a ticket. It's free. EntreArchitect.com/holiday party. Anything else, Jeff?
I think that's it. We're gonna try to make this a semi-regular effort here, as we, we've obviously got some things to work out here, some bugs to work out, and some things to figure out. This is new to us. First time we tried it like this, so we'll be back again with a similar effort. Maybe a little bit more on topic next time, because we have hammered out some of the details in this effort. And so with that, I appreciate all of you that have commented and helped us figure some things out as we go here. That's been a big help to us. And so we'll continue to dial this in and work towards launching the additional efforts here, probably towards the end of, or towards the beginning of 2021, getting into the holiday season now. We'll continue to experiment, and I've got to say hi to Liz Sloan, and thanks for the endorsement of Context and Clarity there, Liz. Thanks for joining us, and I hope all of you. And this is a real opportunity for us as we speak to our friends inside the Facebook community, our friends and colleagues on LinkedIn and YouTube and whoever's out there on Twitch. We haven't connected well with you yet, but we're going to.
OG Rutgers 11.
There you go.
Who's going to help us be famous?
Yep. We're going to go to bigfollows.com right after this and become famous. But I think this is a real opportunity for us to connect and grow the community larger. And like I said it a couple of times. I really do mean this. Meet the community where they are. We know there's untapped potential for helping architects and other professionals and other professional services and students. And this is what we're trying to do at this point. So look for us to pop up again. I think there's a way for us to schedule and announce this. So as we figure out more of the details of how this works, you may see an announcement here coming soon for the next time Mark and I jump on here and try to break the internet. So
yeah, we're going to do a bunch of tech checks in the next few weeks, and then watch for Context and Clarity Live, the simulcast coming in 2021. Spread the word.
Yeah, spread the word. And in the meantime, if you're not a part of the EntreArchitect community on Facebook, join that. If you're an architect, trained as an architect, et cetera, just go to the link that Mark mentioned, and he'll mention it here again in a minute. Go there, click join. So there's someone that approves, that reviews all the applications, so to speak, and will let you into the community and join the conversation any and all weekdays at 4 p.m. Eastern. Just real quickly, again, the topic for today, it's a little bit lighthearted again today. It's about giving your clients gifts at the end of a project, at the end of the year. What do you do? How do you do it? When do you do it?
Do you do it?
Yep. Should you do it? And how will it be different in 2020? But other things that we've covered recently, outside the box service models, How do you get into new project types? How do you get paid? Those are just a real small sample of the things that we've covered. Um, Monday of next week, we will have been doing context and clarity every weekday for 8 months. So, this is something that has evolved over time, and it's a great community there. So if you're interested in that, go to the EntreArchitect community Facebook group and join at 4 p.m. Eastern any and all weekdays. And that link, Mark, is
EntreArchitect.com/group.
There you go.
/group.
If you're not a Facebooker, if you just don't like Facebook, go to EntreArchitect.com/group and you'll bypass everything. You just go right into the group. That's how I get there. Some people find this ironic, and it is ironic. I'm on Facebook every single day doing that show, and that is the only thing. I have not looked at, I don't even know what they call it anymore, but the timeline, the news feed, whatever. I have not looked at that for 3 years. I think that's
might be time to check it. You never know what you find on there.
Maybe, but I really, really do value the community in that group, and so I go there every day and I use that link. So,
yeah. And before we jump off here, 8 months is a long time, and I want to thank you for your dedication to not only EntreArchitects at large and the community at large, and what you do for me inside EntreArchitect with the work that you do with me as part of the team. But to do that daily conversation is not easy. It is difficult to do what you do every day, to read those comments, to keep everybody engaged, to keep everybody excited about what they're talking about. It's a difficult task for all the things that we do in terms of content. What you do every day in the Facebook group is very difficult, and I thank you for doing that, because I do think it gives us some context and clarity every day, and it does give us all as architects a place to go on a regular basis and know that we're with friends. And so, thank you for being so consistent and dedicated to that community.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure, and it's my happy place. If you're not careful, apparently it'll break your brain, but
yes. I didn't want to mention that you literally sacrificed for the community.
But yeah, it is, I say this every day as I close out context and clarity. I love context and clarity. And I know that people, an hour, asking people to give an hour of their time is asking a lot. It's valuable. And I really value that hour with everybody. One, because they're giving of their time, but two, because they pour, and we mentioned this earlier, 180 comments, in an hour. If you think about that for a minute, the people, the 30 or so people that may be live at any given time on that, they're pouring a lot of themselves into those conversations. And that's something that we can't take for granted. And we really have to appreciate and value. And that's what I want people that have never been a part of context and clarity to understand, is that if let's just say you join that conversation today or Monday or whatever, you'll be surrounded by maybe 30 other people that are like you. They will be spread all over the world, and they're there to help. They're there to share their experience, their ideas, their creativity, their expertise, and to help. And they're pouring it all in there for an hour and beyond, even in the recorded version. And that's what to me is so amazing is the way that people have gathered around and built this community. And so I know I say it all the time, but I really, really do appreciate everybody doing that with me every day. So I'm happy to be there.
Yeah. So if you're not there, EntreArchitect.com/group, join Jeff today at 4 p.m. Eastern time. He'll be there. All right, Jeff. Thanks for doing this. We'll see you all next time on our next tech check.
We'll have to rename it to something we can actually pronounce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, everybody.